So I thought that was really a wonderful example of the client stories. Wessel and Li-Lian, I mean, Jan basically gave the vision. Ardjan said how they did it. Hans showed us a tool which is extremely wonderful. Eva is very popular. I mean, Eva is an internal tool, but it is really popular. Is that also something you've noticed, that these people, Li-Lian and Wessel, first start with Li-Lian, that if they say they're going to do something at Vanenburg, that they're quick and that they get back to you? How is it to work day to day with them?
Yes, for me, it's really a very positive collaboration. It's just, for me, I think the beginning of our journey together. And I think we still have a long way to go, all right? So for me, it's about accessibility, reactive. Sometimes it's just all about agility, that what we are looking for. And that's also one of the very first important point why we have chosen Vanenburg, is really about customizable and flexible.
Yeah, and also reactive and communicative, I guess. Yeah, Ardjan, I mean, you're the co-CEO of the company. How did you build that? How did you build that culture? That I mean, if customers would talk to me about that in this way, I would glow. I mean, I would be very excited. And if they're willing to say that for the world, that's really. But how is that structure being? How is that company culture being built?
Well, before answering your question, let me first say thank you, Li-Lian, thank you, Wessel, because I think this was what makes us and what get us out of our bed. Not just me, but all of us. And I think it was already explained by Hans. I think yes, we do think about good tooling. We do think about great partnerships with Google, with Salesforce. Yes, we do think about adopting all these best practices. But I think the secret sauce and the secret weapons is really our people, not just all of our people. They're based here in Putten, or they're based in India. I think also last few months we've celebrated many occasions where we had a bunch of people who were already for 10 years, for 15 years, some of them even for 20 years with the company. So I think that is really our secret weapon. Not just only the best practices we adopt, but a great team. And well, it's just a matter of also doing very good at, and really making sure that everybody's aligned and running in the same direction. So keeping focus and keeping sure that everybody's aligned towards the goal of adding business value.
Yeah, that's
maybe we inherit some things a little what they still calling the famous Baan culture. Where we still see in India, where I have now 13,000 links to my LinkedIn contact. They are the Baan Knights, and still we have this elements of the culture. And the one crucial element is better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. Respect, and we call it always the 3 I's. The I is we deal with innovative people, with intelligent people. That's sometimes a problem enough. Now, we like to make these intelligent people more innovative. And second is very much important. If you have innovative people, yeah, and if they're introverted, it's not so good. We take the other eye to even not ask their mother, but better ask for forgiveness to make them initiative. But the last is the most important one, is integrity. And then what we see is a win-win. Many people work 25 years for us, but all who work for Baan make their career. We have thousands of people who are now leaders around the world. And even we have the benefits from this one, and that is also a little what we inherit from the past.
Yeah, I see that indeed in your LinkedIn page, that a lot of people, you refer to the fact that they work for Baan, and that it was that's the way which shaped them and which gave them proud, and that they still love to interact with you and work with you. So that is a nice tribute to this company. Hey, Wessel, how did you find Vanenburg? What kind of process do you follow when you are suddenly stuck with a 2-year-old project, a dead horse? How do you find somebody like them?
My father and I were introduced to Jan Baan via a mutual acquaintance, so we got to know each other, and we kept in touch. We were also invited for the previous client day, and like I said, it was a very good conversation, because I think it's important that a supplier not only have a vision and delivers the good work, but there also has to be a personal connection, and well, I feel that there is one. And It's as easy as that.
Yeah. Oh, so that's the personal connection. Well, I think if you look at where you are now, Jan, you have a bunch of clients which are very happy, and then you have a vision. What is your plan for the next couple of years?
That was the question asked. When is the product ready? Now, let me say, I started not for nothing first with the Baan. Core elements of Baan was the Baan shell. And we did not sell the Baan shell, but we have two guys, Theodor van Dongen and Johan Rosman, working together on the same moment. If you sell a tool, before you have feedback, take you 5 years. And you make not the money. We see the tool in the beginning as our components for the factory, eat your own dog food. And therefore we were not in a hurry to sell it, although it's come there. We see this next step could be already franchising. If we take a kind of say boutique firm, could be in Indonesia, could be anywhere in the world, with 20 people who understand customers, we can adopt them and bring it in, not in a hurry for selling. Because in Baan we never sold the tools, but the market cap came to 10 billion. Now, some people, like Progress, we are the same in competition, make the money from the tools, but we make money from the applications. That's more important than the interface. That was a little the hard stuff in Chorus. We had not content enough, and it was hard. We learned a little our lessons. We were amazing technology in Chorus. Stephen and the top analyst was even ranked us even in the top. Stefan Reed, even they ranked us in the top. We are real in the top, but too early.
Yeah.
And therefore we say, okay, it's better to be in the hand of the customer and bring that together now.
Yeah.
What is important for me, the beauty is, it's a company we deal now. I'm the only board member without a board, and I'm the only shareholder. But I have not so much to say. There are two co-CEOs two of my sons. But okay, it's fun to do this, and I think we bring the element of the past into this. And now we can do with 120 people more than with 1,200 people in the past, and therefore it is not per se needed to grow to 1,000 people, in my opinion. And let it go. We are not in a hurry, but I think high promising elements if you look to the future, but especially for our customers. And the biggest benefit you have if you deliver to the customer.
Under promise and over deliver. Still, I think somebody says here, Jane says, kind of funny, ABS was developed as an internal tool. I remember that because Werner Vogel is the CTO of Amazon, and he's a Dutchman. And he says, we built this system because the IT internally of Amazon was horrible. You could never get anything done inside Amazon. Everything took months. And he first put his first files on servers, and then he put more servers, and now it's a great tool. Still, Hans, you have this baby now, Eva, and really it's helping 100 people developing. Ardjan, what do you think is the future for Eva to basically look at this tool and to make it open for the customer so that you can provide them the tool and the vision and the hands to create new applications?
Yeah, so the main reason, the main strategy of keeping it at right now as an internal tool is really productizing and further sharpening it up. So doing good at where we already started on, and doing better for what we have been doing with the first application and the first projects. So the first focus of the coming months is making sure that right now maybe the productivity has been doubled or tripled, but we are not satisfied yet. That's where we are productizing it. That's where we are really tapping on the genes of all our great guys to make sure that this becomes really a rock solid platform where not only us we are proud of, but our customers are loving it because of the reason that we have lowest total cost of ownership for delivering an open, no lock-in application. The next step is indeed to work with some kind of close friends in terms of consultancy firms, external guys who can tap on this knowledge, can use this best practice. So that's the next step, the next wave of engagement we are starting to think of. Lessons learned from the past. We don't have a roadmap for 5 years where we'd like to be from now, but the next step is make sure that also external consultancies can be used in the same productivity tooling.
Yeah,
well, make care that we have
he cannot wait until you bring it to the market. So maybe he should be
happy to have
one problem more. We have one problem more. We have not one, but we have 2 children, and the other one is Collabor. And that's the 2 elements. One is for microservices, and the other is for micro app. And that's even more on the zero coding. and together they are an extremely strong team. There we built already tools, we're running millions of collecting stuff, also proof point. These two ones make it extremely complicated compared to the traditional low hanging fruit where we see the constraints from other ones, and they can replace most of the backend into citizen development. EVA is more for, say, business citizen, and the other is more for the end user citizen. These two ones, in my opinion, there I spent all the last years where the company was big on the water, my private money for it. I believe very strong in this one, and it's my dream to continue this, and we'll see.
Yeah, so there are two of your children. Well, Hans, you, as a CTO, you're now you also have two children, so Kleber and Eva. How do you think they will grow up in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think that requires a bit of focus and dedication, but yeah, it's also we position those products also differently, but also they need to be able to work together and complete the landscape of on top of the legacy.
Yeah, but take good care of those children and make sure they grow, make sure they basically live and they go out to the world and to all these other people. Wessel, I want to end up with two questions for Wessel and Li-Lian. If you look at Vanenburg and you work with many vendors all over the world, what do you think their next steps should be? I'm starting with Li-Lian because I mean your company is like a big empire. It has huge amount of countries, huge amount of business lines and things. How do you think they will grow in your corporation, the cooperation between the two of you, your companies? How do you think it will grow in the future?
Yeah, for me, I really like the idea about the Collaborer and Eva. So it was really also one of the many years back when I told this discussion. We had this discussion with Ardjan before. So on Eva and Collaborer, it was also one of the concept that we had at that time. Okay, it was really about on an intranet platform. How can we hide the complexities? How can we hide all the multiple backend systems behind for the employees to get a better user experience, right? So we didn't really develop that feature, but although the feature was kind of defined at that time, so there was like maybe 3 or 5 years back, and now it just I was so happy that when Ardjan and the team showed this Collaborer and Eva, and I think this is really, for me, it's really key, and I think at any enterprise or even whether if you're small or big, I think there is a path to go, and the journey is there. We might need to be in order to achieve to go into that kind of a task and micro apps environment. All our IT systems has to be ready as well. So meaning that they are able to expose their API, getting API, and all that stuff. So I think from an enterprise perspective, I think we still need to go somewhere within our IT system and landscape before we arrive at this stage of experience.
Yeah, but you see a lot of future possibilities in work on joint projects and slowly revitalize this whole beautiful, big, huge core of enterprise IT. Wonderful. So
yeah, and it's important because I think vendor lock-in is one very important point that we need to think about in advance, okay? And also about reversibility, because today we have so many people able to come out with new products each day, creating new user experience, and that's really eye-catching, right? So people will definitely fall for things, and at the end, what is the right IT strategy? Do we want to make sure that we have a stable and robust architecture, backend systems that are standards, and then we try to have really innovative kind of applications that fits really needs. So for me, this is really key, and I think you guys have the right vision, and I do share this vision. So I'm happy to see where we can go towards that kind of a direction.
Okay. Well, before I ask Wessel that same question, I just want to I have one for Ardjan here. He's saying, after seeing the different cases and noticing these are sizable organizations, should I assume a budget threshold for organizations? Where does it start? For who can basically afford you as a supplier is what this guy is saying.
Yeah, I think Wessel took it pretty more or less answered that question. So it's not about going into the big digital transformation wave. Think about months of projects and going underwater for years. I think what Wessel just highlighted is think of some app which was there, and think of some requirements which can be easily developed in 1 or 2 months. And this 2 months project was just with 2 or 3 guys. So I think this is not about huge budget. It's about, I think that's also the last slide I showed. Let's get into a 3-hour workshop. Let's start about 3 days prototype visualization, and let's get something done in 3 weeks. So then within 1 month, or maybe depending upon the scope, we can extend that for a bit. But then you could have a first cycle. And of course, I'm not talking about custom ERP from scratch. That could probably take a couple of those cycles. But it's not about the huge multi-million project to start with.
Yeah, Ronald. So that is there's no price, but it's really I've got to know Vanenburg when I basically said, hey, I have this problem with I needed to basically give a recommendation, and the person went to Vanenburg, and in a couple of weeks they basically built an application. So it was really not expensive. Not compared to if you go to any kind of organizations I went to. Wessel, can you, as a last question, can you basically tell us what do you see as the future of working together with Vanenburg, and what should that company do actually with their capabilities?
That's a bit hard question to answer, but I think that we now have a solid base on which we can continue the cooperation. Like I said, I also strongly believe in their vision towards app development, etc. And because there's no vendor lock-in, you always have to add value in the cooperation. So I think that's the first step we'll take into our journey together.